Hey, I'm David Mathews with Marriage Helper. For 15 years, my wife and I, Debbie and I, have been helping with Marriage Helper 3-day intensives, the Marriage Helper workshop. We have literally talked to couples and sent them to this workshop for over 20 years now, and just personally know the incredible response to the Marriage Helper workshops. One thing at the workshop, these 3-day workshops, and many of you who are watching all the videos online of Marriage Helper and so many great resources at Marriage Helper, is this feeling of being overwhelmed. There is so much information out there. There is so much to do. And in my work as a coach with Marriage Helper, working with many couples and individuals who are trying to save their marriage, I get the sense that so many people feel overwhelmed to the point of they don't know where to start. In my early days, when a couple came in to talk to me about their marriage, they would list all the problems in their marriage in the first hour session and, quite frankly, leave me overwhelmed and leave them overwhelmed. Like, where do you start? How do you start to assimilate this information and then put it into practical use to where I can really make progress in my marriage? If you have a reluctant spouse and you're trying to save your marriage, where do you start? Or if you're a couple and you're both wanting to save the marriage, where do you start with it? Well, today I want to share a very simple concept with you. It's a concept called Domino Day. Do you know that there's a Domino Day out there? It's sometime in November. The world record for domino stacking and knocking them over, people on Domino Day try to break the world record. The last I checked, the world record was set a few years ago in the Netherlands by a domino production company, of all things, of course. And the world record at that time, and I still think exists, is 4,500,000 and something thousand dominoes are stacked up and then knocked over, and they all fall over. Now, I don't know who has time to do all that except somebody trying to sell dominoes, but it's an incredible thing that happens. And I got this information, a lot of this information, from a book called The One Thing by Gary Keller. Gary, I want to give him credit for this. It's a great book, but it's so applicable to marriages and to people that feel overwhelmed. And basically, Keller in this book talks about you can only do one thing efficient at one time. And Debbie and I also work for an organization that we founded called Spark of Life. It's a grief recovery organization. We use this concept with those who are overwhelmed with grief and loss. And oftentimes, of course, couples who are in trouble, and you felt this, I'm sure, feel a sense of loss, a loss of expectations on what my marriage was going to be. Maybe you have a loss of trust in your marriage. Maybe you've lost respect. Maybe you feel right now that you're all alone or invisible in your marriage and like you've been devalued, and perhaps your spouse has found somebody else, or perhaps they don't want to be involved in the marriage. Where in the world do you begin? Well, Gary Keller outlines a tremendous concept in this book, The One Thing, by stating a question: what's the one thing you need to do, the doing of which will make the doing of other things you need to do either unnecessary or easier? And I'll repeat that because it's kind of confusing. So if you wake up on Monday morning and you want to work on your marriage, you want to get your spouse back, you want to revitalize your marriage, what do you need to do? He said, write down the one thing you need to do this week, the main thing you need to do, one thing. Everybody can do one thing that you need to do that would make the doing of other things either easier or unnecessary. And he gives this incredible thing of energy that's produced when those 4.5 million dominoes are produced, or, were knocked down. And the one thing about knocking that first domino down, it exerted a force of some 95,000 joules of energy. Now, that joule is spelled Joules. I learned that because I Googled it. I'm not that smart. Maybe you know what a joule of energy is. I don't understand it all, but I do understand that 95,000 joules of energy is a lot of force. It's the force that's created when 4 million dominoes, they start knocking over each other. And there's a force and an energy that gets going. And so in the book, scientists are, engineers or other people, who study this stuff, say that one domino can knock over another domino 1.5 times its size. One domino can knock over another. If you started with a 2-inch domino, it's about that big. Then if the next domino was 1.5 times its size, which would be 3 inches, and the next domino was 1.5 times the size of the 3-inch, would be 4.5 inches. And if the next domino, well, you get the idea. I don't know what the fourth domino would be. 1.5 times 4.5. Quick. What is it? Tell me. Yeah, me neither, right? So, but if each domino was 1.5 times the size of the previous domino, do you know that after 10 dominoes, the 10th domino would knock over a domino? The 10th domino would be as tall as Peyton Manning. That quarterback used to play for the Colts and then the Broncos. You remember Peyton Manning? I don't know how tall Peyton Manning is. I think he's 6'4" or something like that. And I don't know why Keller picked Manning, because right now he's not a very good football player because he's retired. He doesn't play anymore. He does great commercials. But the 10th domino would be as tall as Peyton Manning. The 18th domino would be as tall as the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The 23rd domino as tall as the Eiffel Tower. The 31st domino would be 3,000 feet above Mount Everest. That's how big it would be. The 31st domino, if you started with a 2-inch domino, and each domino is 1.5 times the size of the previous one, the 57th domino would be as tall as from the Earth to the moon. Check it out. I did. I'm a skeptic. I'm cynical sometimes. I want to know if it's really true. If I read it in a book, is it true? So take 2 inches times 1.5 times 1.5, and you'll see that the 57th domino is about the size of from the Earth to the moon. That's how big it would be. So what does that have to do with your marriage? Well, when you get overwhelmed, you don't know what to do. The old mantra that we repeat at Marriage Helper a lot, and that others do, is do the right thing. So I want to boil that down to do the next right thing, whatever the next right thing is. Do only what you can do. Do the next right thing. In other words, knock over the 2-inch domino. That's how you start, and you do that every day. You do it every day. Knock over the 2-inch domino and see what happens. I want to read to you this quote on it's page 16 of this book. So when you think about success, shoot for the moon. Well, that's 57 dominoes. That domino from Earth to the moon is a huge domino. If you start with the 57th domino, you're going to run on your marriage recovery. You're going to run into that domino and try to knock it over. You'll probably break your back. And metaphorically, you might break your emotional back. You can't do everything in one day. Start with the 2-inch domino. Toppling dominoes is pretty straightforward. You line them up, you chip over the first one. In the real world, though, it's not that simple. No, it's not. To revive your marriage, to rebuild your marriage, to hang in there when you're fighting for your marriage, sometimes gets real messy, doesn't it? It drains you emotionally. It's not as simple as knocking over a domino, but listen to what he says. The challenge is that life doesn't line everything up for us and say, here's where you should start. Highly successful people know this. So every day they line up their priorities anew. They find the lead domino and they whack away at it until it falls. Did you get that? You get up in the morning. What's the one thing you need to do today to improve yourself, to work on your pies, to share facts and feelings? What's the one thing you need to do to get back on the love path? What's the one thing you need to do to take care of yourself? What's the one thing you need to do the one thing? Why does this approach work? He says, because extraordinary success is sequential, not simultaneous. What starts out as linear becomes geometric. Think about that. You do the right thing, and then what do? You do the next right thing. The right thing may be getting up and washing your face. The right thing might be going to a gym. The right thing might be eating right. The right thing might be taking care of yourself today by going out and having fun with a friend. Over time, doing the next right thing adds up and the geometric potential of success is unleashed. Now listen to this next sentence. The domino effect applies to the big picture, like your marriage struggles, your marriage strategy. It applies to the marriage. Success builds on success, and as this happens over and over, you move toward the highest success possible. The key is that it's over time. That's the key. Success is built sequentially. It's one thing at a time. So you hear the stories of these marriages that have been where you are, and then they've somehow made it. And now they're living a really good marriage relationship. They're living in that great relationship. And you say, okay, I want that. How did they get there? I'll tell you how they get there. Doing the next right thing. Knocking over the 2-inch dominoes. So the solution is to start. Every day start again and do the next right thing. The Marriage Helper workshop, the solo workshop that we're offering now at Marriage Helper can be a great resource if you have a reluctant spouse and they're not about to come to the workshop. If you're a married couple, come to that workshop. The online workshop is powerful. I've seen the online workshop and the in-person. The online workshop is just incredible, whether it's the solo, if that fits you, or the couples workshop. And there are so many things online that can help you do the next right thing. So be sure you subscribe to the Marriage Helper channel. Be sure you on YouTube, visit our website, marriagehelper.com. Call us at 866-903-0990. Call us at Marriage Helper. There are client reps that will help you get started. That might be the next right thing you do is pick up the phone and call Marriage Helper, or sign up for a solo workshop or a couples workshop. But start, do something, do the next right thing. Don't forget, when you feel overwhelmed, knock over that 2-inch domino. Have a great day.